GD Goenka University. Before we begin today's events, we will invoke the blessings of Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, wisdom and learning. I humbly request all dignitaries and members of the audience to kindly rise and join us in the Saraswati Vandana and ceremonial lamp lighting. Yesterday, we engaged in stimulating keynote sessions, insightful research presentations, and rich academic dialogue around sustainability, innovation, and the evolving knowledge economy. Today, we move from theory to shared accountability as we deliberate on one of the most urgent and most transformative themes of our time: shared responsibility, the circular economy perspective. As highlighted in our conference vision, building a sustainable knowledge economy requires more than innovation. It requires collaboration. The circular economy challenges the traditional take, make, dispose model and calls for a regenerative system where resources are reused, repurposed, and reintegrated into the production cycle. But more importantly, it reminds us that sustainability is not the responsibility of one sector alone. Governments must create enabling policies. Corporations must adopt ethical and regenerative business models. Universities must generate research-driven solutions and nurture responsible leaders. Communities must participate actively in sustainable consumption. The circular economy is not merely an environmental agenda, it is an economy transformation strategy that fosters resilience, innovation, and long-term value creation. As an institution committed to research, innovation, and extension activities, GD Goenka University recognizes that sustainability must move beyond discourse into practice, and we aim to contribute meaningfully to the transition towards a regenerative economic model. Let this session inspire us to rethink ownership, redefine value, and reimagine growth. Because in a circular economy, waste is redesigned as a resource. Competition evolves into collaboration, and responsibility becomes shared. With this, I warmly welcome you to the Day 2 panel discussion on shared responsibility, the circular economy perspective. Let me start by acknowledging Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dinesh Shenoy sir and Professor Dr. Dhirendra Singh Parihar sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Administration and Registrar, for their support to run this event. I would also like to welcome Professor Dr. Smitha Girija ma'am, Dean School of Management. Ma'am has served in several key leadership roles at esteemed institutions and has designed and delivered specialized MOOCs in marketing and innovation on Swayam platform. As an international visiting professor at ISM University of Applied Sciences, Germany, she has conducted full credit courses alongside building strong research portfolio with numerous publications and case studies in reputed journals. She continues to inspire us all, and we are privileged to have her as our leader. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of respected deans of various schools. Your presence is a source of encouragement, and thanks for being with us today. I would like to request Professor Dr. Smita Girijama to please come on the stage and felicitate the guests. I will begin by introducing our first panelist, Ms. Nidhi Sahani, Associate Partner, IBM. Ms. Nidhi has over 20 years of experience in global services consulting and large-scale enterprise transformation. Qualified Chartered Accountant and Certified Systems Auditor, she brings deep expertise in global finance and operations transformation across process, technology, data, and operating models. Ms. Nidhi has led complex, multi-country programs for Fortune 200 organizations, enabling enterprise system deployments, AI and agentic AI-driven capabilities, and end-to-end process harmonization. She is recognized for translating strategy into executable transformation roadmaps and stabilizing high-stakes, multi-vendor delivery environments while driving measurable business outcomes. Currently pursuing a doctorate in finance, she is known for her thought leadership, structured problem-solving approach, and ability to deliver sustained value in global enterprise. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. We are honored to have you with us today. Please take a seat on the dais. Our next panel member is Mr. Rahul Ghai, General Manager, Talent Acquisition, CBRE Asia Pacific. Mr. Rahul brings over 12 years of talent acquisition expertise. This includes 5 years in leadership roles. Throughout his career, Mr. Rahul has successfully managed talent operations and collaborated with global teams to streamline recruitment process, ensure efficiency and effectiveness in meeting organizational hiring goals. Sir has worked on leadership hiring and consulting during his previous tenures with ABC Consultants in Hydric and Struggles. A very warm welcome, sir. We are honored to have you with us today. Please join us on the dais. I would also like to request Professor Vandana to kindly come on the stage and felicitate our guests. Our next panelist is Mr. Harjeet Singh, Partner, Grant Thornton Bharat LLP. With nearly 2 decades of robust experience across financial accounting, controllership, and technical accounting, Mr. Harjeet is a formidable force in the finance domain. His deep expertise in GAAP and complex technical accounting standards enable him to provide exceptional leadership in financial reporting, budgeting, forecasting, and regulatory compliance. Mr. Harjeet brings a rare and powerful blend of accounting and technology expertise, having successfully led numerous finance transformation initiatives. A dynamic and result-driven leader, Mr. Harjeet has established and managed multiple small to mid-scale centers of excellence. consistently building high-performing teams that deliver outstanding outcomes. An accomplished chartered accountant, Mr. Harjeet is widely recognized as a financial powerhouse with extensive experience and a strategic mindset, technical depth, and forward-looking, enabling organizations to navigate complexity, unlock value, and achieve sustainable growth. A very warm welcome, sir. We are honored to have you with us today. I would also like to call upon Professor Deepthi and Professor Himanshu to kindly felicitate our guest. Our next panel member is Ms. Sana Bakai, Managing Partner, KYSB Associates and President, IIA Delhi. Ms. Sana Bakai is a seasoned and passionate chartered accountant, celebrated author, mentor, and thought leader with over 20 years of rich professional experience. A commerce graduate from Delhi University, she holds multiple prestigious qualifications, including CA, CS, LLB, DISA, and certifications in concurrent audit, CSR, and FAFD from ICAI. She has delivered multiple powerful sessions across platforms such as ICAI, ICSE, Tax Bar Association, and the Institute of Internal Auditors IIA. She has authored books on fraud prevention and detection and audit and assurance. She is also the president of Lok Shala Trust, a financial literacy and skill development initiative. She currently serves as the president of IIA Delhi, making history as the first woman to hold this position since the branch's inception in 1978. She is also a regional council member of the NIRC of ICAI. She serves as an advisor to the IIA India Publications Committee. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. We are honored to have you with us. Please join us on the stage. I would also like to call upon Dr. Gautam and Dr. Ramandeep to facilitate our guests. Our next panelist is Dr. Nimesh Joseph, Professor of Practice, Center for Advanced Learning, St. Stephen's College, Delhi. Dr. Nimesh is a researcher and data science professional specializing in social media analytics and information propagation. Sir earned his PhD from IIT Delhi. He has served as director of Pienza Tech India Private Limited, the Indian subsidiary of a US-based SaaS startup, and previously worked with Oracle as a software developer while also being a co-member of an IIT Delhi incubated startup, Medic Fibers. He has contributed to national initiatives such as the Digital India Awards and the National Digital Literacy Mission. A commended leader in communication and public speaking, he has served as District 41 Director for Toastmasters International, overseeing more than 6,000 members across multiple countries. His broader interests also lie in social media, digital humanities, and entrepreneurship. A very warm welcome, dear sir. We are honored to have you with us today. I would also like to call upon Dr. Abhishek and Dr. Nidhi to kindly felicitate our guests. Dr. Anuja Pandey is running a little late and she will join us in a bit. But for now, I would like to introduce and welcome the moderator of the panel discussion today, Dr. Neetu Ahmad. Dr. Neetu Ahmad is a faculty member in the area of economics with approximately 19 years of academic experience. Professor and area chair at Goenka University. She holds a PhD from New Delhi and an MBA from Goenka University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. She has presented research papers at several national and international conferences and has been published in reputed academic journals. Her research includes the knowledge economy, sustainability, international trade, and broader issues related to economic development and policy. Welcome, ma'am. And now let the dialogue begin.
On behalf of School of Management, Goenka University, I would like to welcome all the panelists and all the members, those who are present here, those who are the participants in this panel discussion. And I'm surely want to include those who are sitting this side. I'm not able to see you, but definitely you are part of this discussion. So, as we all know, that the theme of this panel discussion is the shared responsibility. The circular economy perspective. Sarah has already introduced the basic idea of circular economy, that what we mean by circular economy and why it is so important and why we are discussing it here in this panel discussion. And we have people from different areas. So just before starting it, I would like to in simple words how we can explain circular economy. So we can say that traditionally our idea or our system is that we produce different products, we use them and then we dispose them. We don't, maybe we can say that we don't much care about that, how the disposal of products is going to be done. But in circular economy, maybe we can say it's a kind of loop where we are producing products in a way that we can reuse them, repair them, refurbish them, or recycle them. So that is the basic idea of circular economy. And this we cannot actually achieve without the contribution of all actors, those who are here. And that's why for that we have invited people from different areas. And in this particular panel discussion, we will have basically 3 rounds. In first round, it will be a kind of general opening round in which I will ask questions so that all of the panel members can give their perspective, and then we will move to second round that will be industry specific, and we would like to know about the examples of that industry and how it is contributing towards circular economy. And then in the third round, we will have the concluding remarks from each one of you about that what we can do or how we should proceed for the future. So, the first question to the all panelists is, maybe we can start from Ma'am. So, what does shared responsibility in the circular economy mean from your perspective? Who should lead this circular transformation? Government, corporations, academia, or consumers?
Hello. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for inviting me here for this panel discussion. One of the most relevant for all of you, because you are the future we are looking forward for. We can definitely share our perspective, what was done and what is being done and the future initiative, what needs to be done. Earlier, as we all know, the concept of make, take and waste was there, the linear economy, where we get the things, use it and dispose it without thinking how we are actually affecting the whole environment as a whole. The concept of plastic came, I remember while we were pretty young, the plastic was introduced as a disposable item. Earlier, that leaf-based or paper-based plates and etc. they were used. Then we moved from that to plastic to make it, convenient to carry the things, convenient for reusing it, and gradually, after moving and having shifted from the metal to plastics, what we realized is that the recycling of the plastic is creating the hazardous issues across the world. That is indeed one of the reasons for the global this perspective has shifted in last 10 years. We started talking about the circular economy. When we understood that it is hazardous for all of us to just doing the landfillings a lot. One of a very good step in this direction was taken by European Union in 2024. It's just one of the examples what they have done. We noticed that there are wastage from the chargers, and they made one single charger for all their mobiles, tabs, and every other electronic. It has to be C-type. You cannot sell any product which is not having a C-type charger. This one step, how much it contributed? 11,000 tons of annual waste was reduced because of this. And it is approximately 250 million euros which is saved on with just one small change, that every charger has to be C-type. So there are a lot of examples, and from April 26, they are making it compulsory for laptops as well to use C-type charger. Gradually, many of us who used to use Apple have that lightning cable, which was quite unique and expensive. They also moved to C-type because they cannot sell their product as it is in the European Union, which accounts for their more than 35% sale. So it has to be standard across. These kind of small changes, this thought process and innovation, how we can reduce the waste, how we can save, how we can design the things in a way that it will have an effective utilization. Recycling is easy. Any waste is the input for another item. So that is the important thing which we all need to understand and think. Think for any small thing which we are using, maybe your spectacles, how we are using, how much time it takes, and what can we do with this. So this is a thought which I am leaving with all. That think on a minor perspective, that how we can contribute for the sustainability and how we can contribute for a better future. Because this earth, we are not inheriting from our ancestors, as we say. This is something we are borrowing from our children. So, with this thought, thank you, ma'am.
So hi everyone, I want to say wake up. Half of you over here, please wake up. And this is a call from nature as well as me as your panelists right now. So guys, as I'll give you a perspective as far as talent acquisition is concerned. And this will somewhere down the line enhance your, either enhance or motivate you to be in this particular domain. So what happens is, we as a culture, we don't have this habit to reuse or rework on the things that we are currently utilizing, or as in industries as well, we have this thing to dump out all the things or all the waste or whatever be the situation that are happening right now. So what we do, me as a general manager for talent acquisition, we hire people from Singapore, Japan, and also from expats from Canada or elsewhere to our ESG team. So this is a very niche team that we have, and trust me guys, if you work towards this particular situation right now, so I'll give you an example. Previously we used to call it CSR. Now we call it as ESG, or either CSR is also manipulated to certain fact where environment is a big factor towards it. And we as a generation are facing this situation with regards to pollution, water, or basic amenities. And I am very happy to see this thing that either Gen Zs or the people that we have as an MBAs right now, you are on the right path. You are very good as far as hygiene is concerned. You are very good as far as regular, what you call as habits are concerned. But again, this is not the way our economy works. And circularly, we are the ones, we are utilizing quite a lot of things, but we are not giving it the right approach as far as closure is concerned. I'll give you a very fine example on this. In Japan, if somebody buys a shirt and he wears it for the 6 months, when he deposits that shirt to an XYZ, what you call as wastage dump or anything, they actually fold their hands and say thank you to that shirt, that you were there for me in the cold, in the weather and all. So this is the culture they are bringing in. And the culture that we are currently in, we are just utilizing things, wasting it all, using new iPhones, this and that and whatever with the situation. But technologically, we need to be certainly aligned. And somewhere down the line, you guys have this potential to go to this niche nature of business, which is ESG, or economically being viable, moving forward with the technologies. As you are aware, we are having the data centers and all the technologies of the world coming in over here in India. So we are the ones, we are the highlights as far as these things are concerned. So you guys need to be aware about the situation right now, about the harms that we are doing to the nature, and what we as an individual is particularly giving it to the mother nature as far as our regular things are concerned or habits are concerned. So it's a wake up call, and somewhere down the line as a panelist I want everyone to wake up. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so first of all, thanks to Goenka for giving this opportunity. Coming to this particular question regarding shared responsibility, circular economy, whose responsibility is that basically? I would first love to give my definition on the definition that I got when I was learning about circular economy in the last 1 week. Where should I, like, you can give a guess, like, where must I have searched about circular economy? Like, if you have no idea about like what is happening in the circular economy, what will you do to kind of learn about it? ChatGPT, right? You all do prefer to use ChatGPT or any of the other similar models to find out the answers. I too did the same. So I had an idea of circular economy and I wanted to kind of learn more. What will interest you? And one video, I got into a video, and the video was like beautiful, and it explained to me things pretty well. Dr. Goenka spoke about a bit about it, and I'll add to it. So all in your school days, you might have learned about photosynthesis, right? You have heard about it, right? What happens in photosynthesis? The plants take carbon dioxide, it gives out oxygen, somebody else uses it, then it's kind of it's a circular activity, right? So it's a loop. However, when it comes to our value creation, the traditional or the current value creation systems, where you see things happen like a linear model. You take things, we make things, and then we dispose of. So this linear approach needs to be broken, and we need to, I won't say it needs to be broken, but we need to make it more circular. But the thought that comes to our mind is that this is kind of a headache. Why should we kind of make it circular? It should, if it is part of some compliance or if it is mandatory, then I am supposed to do it. But that approach should change, and rather we should think it from a perspective that it's going to add value, it's creating business, it's bringing revenue. So if you think from that perspective, the idea of circular economy and the entire concepts we can see it from a different perspective. Now coming to whose responsibility is this? As in, is it industries? Is it academicians' responsibility? Or is it like the government's responsibility? Whose responsibility is this? What do you think? So it's major, it's the word as it says, it's a shared responsibility. The accountability is distributed. It's not kind of restricted to one person or one group to kind of work for this thing, but it's kind of a shared accountability that we must kind of focus. And yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I think different corporate institutes as well as academicians have explained what a shared responsibility would mean. So let me summarize. I would try to kind of do a very quick definition of whose responsibility. So circularity is not a sustainability initiative that can be owned by one function, to my mind. What it means, just like we spoke about, is it needs a complete redesign of the value chain per se, right? Which has to be then enforced by government through policy and incentives. It has to be led by corporates in terms of the redesign of the operating model. So we spoke about how we are selling, we need to now sell only the seat by charge. So it needs a redesign of the operating models. The academia needs to contribute by the AI-ready talent, if I may call it, as well as consumers, we all need to reinforce the drive for sustainable products. So we need to do away with the mentality of buy it, use it, and throw it. So I think it's a shared responsibility, and different parts of the value chain have different roles to play in it. The leadership for this cannot be centralized. It has to be driven in a federated manner across all institutions. What you might say.
Hi everyone, I'm Ranjit. I'm a partner with the firm GT. So before I start talking about sustainability, this this topic, circular economy, I want to clearly call it out. This views are other personal regard. So my brand, my GT, or my previous organization doesn't understand. So in respect of circular economy, and the question which I'm asked is who's going to be responsible for it? I think it's not you, me, or anyone else. Everyone has to come together collectively, work towards it, and bring about change. And this is not a single small change that we are talking about. It's a transformation. It's a transformation in the entire value chain. So like really talked about Apple C-type charger. I just want to give you one example. How many of you prefer to buy a used Apple phone or any phone? Probably none of us. None of us. Even I don't buy it. That's the change management from our customers or consumers' perspective that we need to adopt it. Even now, if I talk about Apple as a brand, they are utilizing in North America or America or European part of the world. What they do is they are selling the phones on a lease back model. They are taking back those phones, reutilizing that, taking out the components like copper, lithium, or all relevant components. They are utilizing or repurposing them to the 98% capacity. Can you imagine that? We as Indians are not even there. We are just using 7% of that repurposing able to repurpose that. Just evaluate the opportunity that we are sitting on. 93% of our product's life cycle are either scrapped or wasted. It's a huge potential for you guys to come up, think over it, and start as an entrepreneur. Think as an entrepreneur. What value chain difference you can bring to the society? I think, and as we correctly mentioned, it's a collective responsibility. No one can take a single person and bring a change. Thank you.
So very rightly mentioned by all panel members that it is a collective responsibility, and it's not a silo efforts that will be done by either industry or academia or consumers. But from their examples, we can always say that we all need motivation, and as a consumer also, I need motivation. So if you, I would just like to mention one example. Like in many European countries, we can see that if you are returning the soft drink cans to the shop, then you are getting some points and that you can utilize for next shopping. And obviously you have to shop from the same shop. So as a consumer also, we are also looking for some value to get back, and organizations can also think of, or government can also think of. Sometimes we are not even aware of that what could be the use. So definitely it's a collective effort, and we all have to move in that direction. So now in this second round, I would like to ask industry specific question. So my first question is with Mr. Rahul. How is the circular economy reshaping talent requirements in corporate, real estate, and infrastructure sectors? As you come from that sector, sir, and what new roles or competencies are emerging due to sustainability and circularity goals?
Right. So I'll give you a very simple answer to this. If I have been given a chance today to do my MBA, I'll do it in environmental studies, or either into any sustainability change or sustainable programs that we have as far as MBAs are concerned. Reason being that if you talk about climate change, if you talk about whatever the things happening around us, it's all related to basically we are on a decline as far as you as a planet, or particularly our regular things are concerned. So when we talk about hiring a talent right now, we are not looking at a sales guy, marketing guy, or XYZ stuff, because as you can see a technological advancement called AI, we are having all the ready answers with us. So here's a differentiation. So differentiation lies with what you are doing for the environment, what you are doing for the sustainable impact as far as your day-to-day operations are concerned. And you as an individual, or particularly if you have that awareness and particularly that enthuse towards going to this particular field, this is going to be a game changer for you. Because somewhere down the line, this is a niche skill right now. As an economy, we are facing this issue, and every MBAs or either of any of the specializations that we do, this is going to be the specialization in next coming years, which is going to be the prime. Reason being that since our operations will be handled by an algorithm or AI or whatever we call about it, our HR will be handled by somewhat what I feel like, particularly on the operations front and all. But environment is the one place where we require that consulting, we require that particularly structured consulting on this front. And when we call about real estate, I'll open this question: which is the most lucrative company in the world that everybody wants to work for? Any answers? Right now. Anybody over here? So it's Google, rightly said by ma'am. So when it comes to Google, so we as an CBRE, we do a workplace strategy for them. So if there is a seat vacant for 15 days, that seat will be removed. It's as simple as that. Removed means that seat will be eliminated, and that office will be initiated on that front, that it will go for a leasing or XYZ front. Like if this particular auditorium right now, only half of the people are sitting and half of this is vacant, then after 15-20 days down the line, this will be a different space altogether. Utilizing it to that context, that environmentally we are making it more viable for a certain section or for a certain domain. So we are the ones, we are providing workplace strategy either on the designing part, either on the sustainability part, and also on the diversity and inclusion part. We call it LED accreditation. So this is how the certifications as far as real estate is concerned. But again, the alignment lies, or particularly we as a society are aligned towards these particular sustainable measures in next coming years. So if you have that particularly inclination towards this one, just go for it and make sure you do it in a very right way. That's it.
So very rightly said, sir. And we are all aware about that what CBRE is doing and what is their contribution in the society. And definitely, as you are part of the talent acquisition, we can always see that all organizations are looking and they want that people should have that idea and maybe in coming future, it will be kind of a necessity for us to go through sustainability programs, and more or less in all programs also we have included, like in as for the government in at graduation level, we have to include environmental studies and environmental science at least in the syllabus part. So now I will move to Mr. Ajit, because for all organizations, maybe we can see that it is very hard to balance sustainability goals with profit targets, because obviously all organizations are working for profits, and they want to be responsible, but they also need to be financially more stable economies. So my question to you is that how can advisory firms support businesses in transitioning from linear to circular models while maintaining profitability?
Thanks. I think from the advisory perspective, I think we have been advising clients on the multi-dimensional space, that how they can move from linear, traditional value chain to circular economy. First of all, we need to understand, every industry is different. They have a different raw materials, they have a different manufacturing process, they have a different output. But in the same space and entire landscape that we're talking, one byproduct or output is the raw material for the other industries. And any kind of waste is again a byproduct of the raw material for other industries. That ecosystem we are enabling, we are advising our clients how they can put it through. In fact, clearly example that we need to understand the assessment of the entire value chain. We need to understand the feasibility analysis, what are the new sources through which they can utilize their existing material or inputs, on which they can, what will the cost impact, what will the profitability impact. So entire this gambit, again, advisor plays a key role. And I clearly want to call out the things that, if we talk about, car makers, Tata car or Mahindra car, these are the only two automakers cars which we have been working with them. We were able to support them. That in today's scenario, if we talk about, Mahindra is able to repurpose their old scrapped cars, approximately 20,000 cars so far. So which is again a big remarkable achievement in this sector, because no one thought about it, that the old cars can be repurposed, the entire steel which has been scrapped can be repurposed, and it has reduced 70% of carbon emissions from that industry. So just evaluate the scale on which we are sitting, we can work on it, and again as an advisor, we are advising our clients on multi-dimensional and profitability. I think while moving from linear economy to circular economy does not impact our profitability. Profitability is of course one key component to drive the business. But at the same time, I am sure that while we are utilizing our existing waste product, my cost per unit eventually goes down. Same kind of material, if I talk about it, taking an example of Apple. If Apple is manufacturing the same mobile phone from the new raw materials, the cost of production per unit is definitely high. If I am utilizing the 98% of the old mobile phones input, like copper, lithium, and other rare elements, then my cost of production is actually going down. Then it becomes an easier, affordable to other consumers as well. So I think profitability is only one aspect and probably narrow aspect, but I think we need to focus on the larger aspect, how we can contribute back to the economy.
Very well said, sir. As you already mentioned, the example of Tata, and ma'am mentioned about the European economies that they are having, maybe we can say, different guidelines. So I would like to add one example here. Like my husband is also part of automobile sector, and he's in tire industry. So once they are exporting to Europe, then they always have to check that which material, raw material we are using, because you are responsible to get it disposed. So the material definitely will be different, or maybe you can say once we are setting the guidelines, then definitely we will develop the kind of infrastructure, and then we will also be responsible for what we are producing and how it is going to be disposed of. Thank you, sir. So now, as we have don't have the guest like we were expecting, so now my question is with Ms. Sana, because whenever we are looking at the organizations, that what they are doing, how they are doing, what are their manufacturing systems, how they are procuring raw material, how they are manufacturing their products, then definitely there is a, maybe you can say, accountability which needs to be incorporated in the process. So because you are part of Institute of Internal Auditors, so my question to you is that how can internal audit functions evaluate the effectiveness of circular economy initiatives, and what are the risks which are associated to sustainability commitments which lack measurable accountability mechanisms?
Very relevant question, ma'am. First of all, as an auditor, we are the trusted advisors for the board. We act as a trusted advisor. The auditor's role is not just limited to fault finding, but to the strategic part, being the advisor for the board, because they are not looking at everything at the transaction level. So it is very important role of an internal auditor, and as an internal auditor, we need to ensure that the designs which has been made, and we should ask the relevant questions. At the first place, while the product was designed, is it reusable? If not, then why? What needs to be done to make and ensure that the cost is going down while we are using the waste material as an input? These questions are relevant for any organization who are claiming that they are using the material, they are reusing, or they have the recyclable products. So, just giving you an example, if a manufacturing company is writing that they are using the packaging material which is reusable, that is fine. What is more important is there an infrastructure exist to reuse that material? That is more important. How exactly the resources have been used, because as an auditor, when we look at the statements which is being made, it should not be just the statements, not in practicality. It has to be more practical. So we all must have heard a lot of toothpaste ads claiming coal in it, salt in it, and whatnot. Does that really exist or not? Right? How it is benefiting overall as an economy? That is more important. On to the second part of your question, that what are the risks in ensuring? First and foremost is the governance risk, which we see in any organization. Whether the tone at the top is right or not. Is it just the claims which they are making, or in practicality they are doing something? Second important risk is the regulatory risk. If an organization, if they are trying to come forward with some solution, just giving you an example of Uber bikes. What happened a little while before? Uber, we all understand that they run commercial vehicles. They do have this shared cabs option available with them, where you can board a cab and it saves a lot of fuel and resources. One cab can carry 3 more passengers along with you. So that will help in reducing the carbon footprints. That's an initiative which Uber is doing. They started with the bike to expedite. The challenge came, and Uber bikes were banned for some time on the regulatory front, that bikes are not the commercial vehicles. Right? They cannot be used for commercial rental. Such kind of risk exists. You come up with an idea, that is fine, but it needs to be commercially and regulatorily and legally viable. Third important risk which we look forward for is the sustainability risk. Whether what exactly is being reported, what exactly is being claimed, that is it really sustainable or not? Will that run in maybe a long term? I'm not sure how many of you must have heard that I think almost 3-4 years back, a drive was there on social media that while you're opening a milk pouch which comes in a plastic, don't cut it till the end because it is increasing the waste and the collection of that small particles of plastic is stuck. So you need to cut it half, take the milk or curd or anything, all the content out and then dispose it. It reduces that effort. So such kind of public awareness is also important. While we think of any risk or having the effectiveness, it is not just at the organizational level, but awareness of the same is again very important. How many of us actually have used an option on the Instamart or Blinkit? I don't need a carry bag. That option exists, but are we really using it? I know because I'm a little more conscious about these facts that while a paper bag is coming, it hardly takes 10 minutes to reach my place. I take it out, put it at the relevant place, and then it's gone. It's completely wasted. They put a pricing on it that if you give it back, you will get some price per kg. You will get some price if you keep those things back. Is there a system to really give those bags to Instamart? That is missing. So such kind of issues exist that as an auditor, we highlight, we work on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So, we have our 6th panel member.
So I would like to call upon our next panel member, Dr. Anuja Pandey, Head IMA, India Case Research Center. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. I hope your journey wasn't much of a trouble. Dr. Anuja Pandey has over 25 years of experience. Dr. Pandey is a respected faculty member, trainer, consultant, and researcher in the fields of marketing and customer experience management. She also serves as the program director for marketing area courses at IMA and has conducted various training programs for organizations. Dr. Pandey has numerous papers published in international and national journals and has also authored and edited e-books for Wiley. She has developed case studies and leads various consultancy assignments at IMA. In addition to her academic and research work, she is actively involved in the marketing activities of IMA and serves on the advisory board of 2 startups, providing guidance in the areas of marketing, customer relationships, and branding. I would like to call you on the dais, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. I would also like to request Dr. Sujata and Dr. Anvi to kindly facilitate our guest. let's continue with the panel discussion.
Thank you, ma'am, for joining. So we have already had our first round of questions, and now we are having industry-specific round. So I will just go to Nidhi ma'am, because as Sana ma'am has already mentioned about the implementation challenges when we are looking at the problems, or maybe we can say when companies are telling about the solutions when they are proposing, then we also have to check that what could be the implementation challenge. And one very rightly example she mentioned about the milk pouches that we all are using in our houses. Every day we are using them, and maybe we don't know how to use them correctly, and that is again creating a problem in achieving the sustainability goal. So after this. Once we are looking at the companies and how they are giving the solutions, we can always say that this audit will definitely depend upon the reliability of the data and the transparent reporting system. That is one of the major challenge that we are facing. So measuring circularity from, maybe you can say, all implementation challenges or life cycle issues. Maybe we can say that we need strong technological infrastructure, and that's why my question is with you, because technology therefore cannot become just only maybe you can say it can become an enabler to the circular system, but it can also safeguard the accountability. So my question to you is, how can digital technologies like AI, blockchain, IoT, they enable this circular supply chains and resource traceability? Thank you, and this was a very, very relevant question in today's day and time as we're talking through these solutions. I think I will talk about more than challenges, what solutions we will implement. So I'll pick up a case study for an organization. Now this is a published case study for the organization, so I can cite it here. This is a supply chain solution that we've implemented for a Fortune 200 company, who are one of the 5th largest food and beverage producers in the world. In the US, I think they're the 3rd largest. So I will just kind of step by step kind of talk about how we've kind of really brought in all the technologies to really develop, I would not call it circular, but a sustainable supply chain model. What we've done is, how do we leverage AI? AI is not about telling you ChatGPT and more than that. Where we are leveraging AI is essentially how do you infuse predictability in your operations. So it's not about harvest will come and play. I don't know what my input is going to be, and that is why I'm not able to do an estimate on my production, for example. So today, through AI, we can kind of really predict what sort of demand is there going to be for the product, and accordingly leverage AI to reduce overproduction, right? So it allows us. Let us still actually go upfront. We are also now interpreting how the harvest is going to come in. So this time, if I need X tons of output for me, can I now have the harvest, or do I need to source it from other places? AI is helping us do all of this. It is helping us do the inventory management, right? Just in time. What is my output needs to be, what my inputs would therefore be. What AI is also helping us then eventually, and this is something we've done for this organization, is also capture what are the best possible logistic routes where we can launch these products in the market, and also then capture the expiry dates, because it's a fast moving consumer good. Also capture what are the expiry dates of the products going to be, so that we can then kind of say, what is it that we need to kind of bring in to other distribution channels or other retail outlets, or move the products within. It helps us to manage the SKU levels within various distribution channels as well. What we've also done is how IoT comes in places, how do we do the entire asset lifecycle management through AI. What that means is, in the plants, what we today have our center of excellence, which is bot managing your plants essentially. So you do not no longer have people managing various machines and whether they're working on time. It is bots, and the bots send out alerts in terms of, particular plant with a particular machine is about to malfunction, a particular part needs replacement. So it's all those plants that are being managed by bots, right? And then they would kind of send in that this is the maintenance that is needed. Somebody from the Center of Excellence, the COE that's at the center, will go and kind of figure out those bots, whether and go do the preventive it. So I do not need people today to start managing my machines as well. So that is your IoT. Now, this is all your production lifecycle management. What IoT, what we've also, and maybe this is a term, we've also created a digital twin for this organization. What that means is we've replicated their supply chain model, and we've created a digital twin that kind of connects all the upstreams and the downstreams as well. So what we're not just doing is harvest, your input predictability, your output predictability, how you're managing the downstream finances, right? So how are you accounting for all of this? Are you able to source the right kind of vendors? Are you negotiating right with the vendors? Are you getting cash in time? Are you paying them on time? So you're actually also impacting their working capital, right? So what all of these technologies has made it's made them scalable, auditable, profitable as well. So it's no longer about, can you do this in silos? You create an entire model, an operating model for the organization, and it connects all parts of the organization. Right? So that is where I believe that, really technology is the nervous system of this economy, right? Because with data intelligence, without data intelligence, this would just be an aspiration. But with data, this makes it scalable, auditable, and profitable as well. And your finance, I'm talking about it, right? When profitability, these are metrics. Today, CFO is no longer about, what is my profitability, etc. There are a lot of metrics we are now mandating for the finance leaders to start reviewing so that we know that how are we doing on regenerated ROI, for example, your waste to value creation, etc. So those are the metrics that are becoming very relevant more than actually the profitability and the growth metrics that we're introducing. So, this is a real case study. I think as an organization who's delivered almost $100 million in value over the last 5 years for this organization. It's a real-time case study that you can actually go touch and see in the organization.
Thank you, ma'am, and for giving such a relevant example. And I believe that my students can also imagine that what kind of system is operating, what are the different stakeholders which are involved in this process, and how technology is basically facilitating them so that we can reduce waste and we can increase our profitability. Yes, ma'am.
We all know L'Oreal, right? So L'Oreal introduces a lot of those fragrances, right? Their cycle time to do new R&D on a product was almost like 6 to 9 months. So every time they will launch a new fragrance, it will take them 9 months to get that product in the market. They do not know whether that product will work or not. With the company research and with now advancements in AI and all, we are leveraging AI to create those new fragrances for them. And we're launching them in the market. Their launch to market is now down to about 30 days. So we are able to launch new products in the market much faster. And we are also now sensing what sort of, what is the kind of reaction. So AI is also kind of interpreting what the customer sentiment is going to be. So, I think this was not possible without data and technology.
Very true. So now, because we have heard academy, I will go at the end because that is definitely very close to us. So, because Dr. Anuja has joined us. So, my question to her is, because we have already heard from different industries, so, and she is in with IMA. So, that's why my question to her is that how can leadership development programs prepare executives to manage circular transformation?
Well, good morning everyone, and thank you for this question. My apologies to panelists for being late, but nevertheless, I would say that when we look into the leadership thing, I think for last couple of years, being part of IMA, we get to meet a lot of industry professionals, and it's not just the companies which are into technology.
hardcore companies which are into manufacturing, big power plants, to hydropower, to all of them we are interacting, and that's where we actually see the change happening. So a couple of years ago, Government of India decided that okay, we will be investing on to the CSR, and a lot of CSR funds were typically going into some of these activities where they could do something about it. Sustainability was something when ESG goals started coming in, and it actually forced that now if you see every organization has to follow the ESG reporting. Initially, I would say initial 2 years we were doing a lot of leadership program on ESG also, and these workshops were primarily how to do the compliance. So how do I do a tick 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 kind of a thing. And in most of the organizations, what we could feel, say for example, we had participants from Nigeria, so they were, what they practiced in US or UK was very different from what they were practicing in India. Typically, India is a dumping ground for them. So what we could see is, okay, they will talk about their best practices, and even in our case research center, I have a case on Nike which talks about the ESG thing and the ESG goals that they are doing. But that is for other countries, not for what they are doing in India. So, initially when we look into those workshops, mostly people were trying to understand that, okay, the way we have been doing the financial compliances, that's the way we will be doing the ESG compliance. So there is a form, there is what are the things that needs to be done. So that was the era that we saw there. Then we could see that people started really looking into it more seriously, and it might be something which we can actually do. So I like to quote one example of NTPC. NTPC has been primarily into the power generation, and when we look into the power generation thing, they have been more or less a coal-based power unit, which means they are doing a lot of pollution as far as the generation of coal is concerned. Then their leadership team looked into it, that how do I really do a turnaround, and then they had the Government of India's pressure and also the internal mandate, and they pushed it. So if you see in last 6 to 7 years, NTPC has shifted. It's a lot of generation is now happening to renewables, and renewables is not just a lot of of course solar has been their key thing, but also the biomass thing. And at the same time, this NTPC, if you all have been into Varanasi, you will see that Varanasi is one of the most polluted city as such, and because of the number of tourists which come there. So almost on a daily basis, 25,000 people arrive to that city, and the municipal base is quite high. So in 2016-17, the Government of India floated a tender, and through which they wanted to do a biomass plant there. So initially a plan was given to somebody else, but in the PPP model this could not work. So NTPC was brought in to do the conversion story. So in 3 years, they built up the plant in 3 months, and then they turned around the story on converting it into the biomass. So when we look into these bigger companies, what the leadership is actually looking into, that okay, there are some practices that we would be doing which will be actually polluting. You can't do all the business by being all goody-goody. If you are into business, of course, you would be doing some harm to the environment, but how do I compensate? That is something which is where the leadership started thinking. So they started shifting a lot of these the power generation plants, and they also went into a lot of these projects which were there. Similarly, we could see that a typical case of a corporate like Maruti, if you see, again, as far as their carbon emission is concerned, that is their data and works actually tell us a lot about it. But they have parallelly started doing that internally. A lot of their generations, they have their captive power plants. At the same time, a lot of internal new fuel that they have developed for internal, which is into the, I would say, a testing phase, where they're testing out that how the vehicles moving inside their premises, how that can be actually utilized. And what we are also seeing at this point in time, that even all the corporates have realized that okay, for many years India was, they could do
but slowly and gradually these things are turning. So people have started looking into that, okay, there are, I would say India is one country where we actually work on compliance as well. So if it is mandated, we will do it. So it's not a willing thing that we will do it, but somehow now the leadership has realized, so we are now seeing the change happening. So it's not just about completion of the project. What we see is at the beginning of the project, these things have been thought about. So I was coming, I was delayed because of the very good road where I could not understand. And then I realized, okay, I'm going to talk about circular economy, and I'm going all and all in circle. So then I could say, okay, what exactly? So this road, I think must be done by NAHI or any of those bigger players as such. But if you see, these people, typically the rapid road transportation or any of these organizations, they have brought in the concept of sustainability at the very beginning. So it's now the procurement has to be green procurement. So when we say green procurement, they are trying to look into what were the practices which are being followed by the vendor who is going to supply to them. Are they green in it? If they are green, then the procurement would happen. And in each of these processes, they have now their engineers who are typically from the ESG departments who are actually looking into what are the best practices which we can follow. So I would say leadership is very strongly looking into circular economy, ESG as not as a compliance factor, now as a strategic change factor, and I'm sure in coming years the results of the same will be very good.
We have discussed so far implementation, strategy part, leadership part, governance, technology, and but we can always say that the mindset, skills, innovation capacity required for the service system, we can say they are shaping the professionals who are going to enter the workforce. So that's why my question to Dr. Nimish, that how can universities integrate circular economy principles into curriculum, and what skills and competencies should graduates develop at this stage to support circular business models?
Okay. So since this question is more about academics and what universities should be doing, and I did get a good amount of kind of learnings from all of them, because I can consolidate those things and probably summarize certain things that I found interesting. So as rightly mentioned, this is kind of a mix of governance, business, technology, policy decisions, and then data science. So if the academicians or the universities plans to integrate circular economy as part of their educational system, then it should be kind of a mixed approach of all these things, and a kind of an interdisciplinary sort of a area where we'll be able to kind of learn many of these things in brief so that we can move forward. Now, adding on to this thing, as in it's not just about having a curriculum or a subject, or it should not be like a choice, but it should be there by default as in part of our education system. Because the moment it becomes a choice, then just like ma'am just mentioned, it makes us give a feel that it's part of a compliance. So it should be not part of a compliance, but it should be part of a default system that we kind of develop. So the students and the universities should ensure that the things that we provide or the education that we kind of give to students, there should be the concept of circular economy and the loops coming into the picture. I would also love to kind of bring in certain things, why we need to bring all these things into the picture. So I heard a beautiful explanation from Nidhi regarding the relevance of IoT, AI, data science, and all those things when it comes to circular economy. And that clearly gives us an idea that yes, when we introduce such things in universities, we need to have a space, or we need to make sure that the students understand these concepts of IoT, AI, and those kind of things, and it's necessary. Rahul spoke about how CSR is slightly drifting or like probably moving towards ESG, and people want to know about environmental, societal, or governance-related perspectives. And tomorrow, people might be looking for people who know ESG reporting. And almost many of us know probably how to kind of understand the traditional business concepts. But if someone asks to kind of come up with the ESG reporting, some of us might be blank. So we need to kind of train ourselves to be as experts in these areas. Adding on, probably to become a sustainable engineer or a designer, someone who thinks from that perspective, all these things comes. I would also add to Ms. Sana's response. She was talking about plastic and the reuse and the things like that. When it comes to the entrepreneurship mindset, since I'm biased a little bit towards the entrepreneurial activities, we do have kind of an opportunity understanding mechanism called as Scamper. So it basically talks about the things that we can add to kind of an entrepreneurship model that you have. And one of the things is like, if you take the example of Uber. Now Uber, we know that it started, how we can kind of add food delivery, Uber Eats. Some of the things did work, some of the things did not work. But still, for you to kind of adapt to changes or to pivot, either thing can be the case. So in those cases, like you should definitely consider the circular systems or like the circular model. And there is a quote or something I read. I was going through Ellen MacArthur Foundation's research works. So they are some of the people who do a lot of research with respect to circular economy. And if you want to kind of have such ideas, you can go to their website. You will get a lot of ideas regarding as in what business model you can come up with, what some countries are doing, what some certain researchers are doing about it. And that was exactly from where I got the first video where I spoke right at the beginning. So they clearly says that if it is a compliance, if it is merely about compliance, just like ma'am mentioned, if in India people do it because it's part of compliance. So and why India does is that India is party to almost all the UN kind of agreements, the climate summits and everything, and the sustainable development goals. Part number, the 12th goal specifically says about responsible consumption and production. So it's by default when we kind of come up with any law or any kind of new policy, we need to keep in mind that we are involved in this responsible production and consumption activities. But if it is just part of compliance, then probably we might fail. If it is just merely part of compliance, we might fail because people might kind of find loopholes to avoid it or alternatives to kind of jump it, so various other things. However, if we bring this idea of like it's about value creation, it's going to create business and this thing that I spoke at the beginning. So the moment we think it from that perspective, then we might lead. And if universities adopt this thing, then we will sustain. So these are some of the things that I want to add. And the last thing, like as Mr. Harjeet spoke regarding profitability and consultancy, these metrics, just like we have financial metrics or as part of ROI, we have various metrics coming into the picture. These metrics should also be should be part of the system, as in so that we can evaluate all these activities, and the students being the future industrialists or the people who will be kind of taking the decisions, of like what these terminologies, what these things are, and how to come up with innovative ideas. There are ample business opportunities, ample initiatives that you can take. Give a thought about it, as in how different I can do it. And I am sure that many of the new schemes by the government, for example, the Startup India or like many of the departments of the ministries run activities where they will be kind of helping such initiatives. If you bring in this concept of circular economy or recycling, refurbishing, repairing and reusing kind of things, if you bring in, then you will get a lot of support from the global community. So focus on such things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So definitely it's a topic on which we can continue our discussion, but we have to conclude the session also because I can see that we have already crossed 1 hour limit. So anything that you would like to add, otherwise we can have the concluding remarks. Yeah.
Since we are addressing to the students, I
I thought that I would like to share few things which would be very useful for you, your course of study and also once you pass out. So when we look into the whole economy and the way that the jobs are emerging, there is a new set of requirement which has emerged, which is typically for the people who understand ESG sustainability kind of thing. So when we say ESG, their consciousness about the environment and also, the compliance and other aspects that we talked about. So a lot of people into finance, they can actually take up this particular module onto how the ESG compliances are done, and they can get good amount of jobs are there into that very sector. So those from specializing in finance, think about it, go do search and see what are things which are required and align your requirement, your skill set around it. But these jobs are very, very many. So when I say very many, these all GCCs which have settled, they are all looking for people. In typically finance and accounting, they hire a lot of people. But at the same time, this is one area where now they want specialists to it. So that is one thing. Another is the sustainability officers, which is again a new requirement, which I think 10 years ago we never heard about sustainability requirement people. So it was generally people from HR were shifted to do the sustainability kind of concept. But now people want that we would be hiring who have done something into sustainability. So maybe in your university pick up a course into sustainability, or if it is not offered in your university, take as an additional course, additional credit course, add it to your academic bank of credit, take it from any university, any platform that you think that this course is meeting up your requirement, but do that. At the same time, try to see that how do you actually prove that you have done something which is for which you can be hired. So maybe when you are still into your campus and you have some opportunity to do some of the projects, get associated with it. I know this university is very vibrant university. You've got a lot of startups who reach out to you. Some of these startups may be working into the sustainability area. Try to pick up some kind of internship with them. Please don't looking for any payment into these internships. But if you actually go and see, get a chance to work there, even for 15-20 days, this would be a complete different experience where you would have seen how things actually work. And it can be with any organization which is going to offer you some kind of internship there. Thirdly, I would say at this point in time, when we look into people, earlier it was that you have a good CV, you've done from your MBA or your BBA from a good institution, you get picked up. But now people want to see what actually you did on yourself. So think about what is that work or in this whole system, what actually motivates you to do. Maybe this can be a very good startup idea. Please do think about it. So we have seen people from tier 2, tier 3 cities coming up with their own startups. So why not when you are into university and you have got such a support system, think about all of these things which can be done into the sustainability area. And because I see all of these kids looking into, okay, there's some discussion going on, where do I connect? So I just want to put it into mind that this is something which is going to be your game changer. As Sir was talking about, if you see a lot of jobs somehow emerge into the area of public policy, similarly, huge number of jobs are emerging into the area of sustainability. So think about it. You may land up with being there as a sustainability officer, but you need to do the things right now.
Thank you, ma'am. So with that, we conclude this session, and I would say just one line that we have to concentrate or we have to look at the economic growth, but we also have to take care of our environment and we have to have the sustainable growth. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this enriching and thought-provoking panel discussion on shared responsibility, the circular economy perspective. Today's dialogue has truly embodied the spirit of ICON 2026, moving beyond ideas into actionable collaboration. I extend our deepest gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dine, for his visionary leadership and constant encouragement in fostering industry, academia engagement, and sustainability-driven scholarship. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Dhirendra Singh Parihar for his steadfast administrative guidance and institutional support, and to our Dean, Professor Dr. Sumita Girija, whose academic leadership continues to inspire excellence, innovation, and purpose within the School of Management. A heartfelt appreciation to our distinguished moderator, Dr. Neet Ahmed, for steering this discussion with clarity, depth, and intellectual rigor. I would like to express our profound gratitude to each of our eminent panel members. Your collective wisdom has reinforced a powerful message. As sustainability is not a silo responsibility, but a shared commitment across sectors, disciplines, and communities. We are also deeply grateful to our organizing committee, faculty coordinators, student volunteers, technical team, and administrative staff whose meticulous planning and seamless execution made this session a grand success. To our participants and delegates, thank you for your active engagement, insightful questions, and intellectual enthusiasm. A conference finds its true meaning in dialogue, and you have made today's discussion truly impactful. As we conclude this session, let us carry forward one key takeaway. In a circular economy, value is co-created, responsibility is collective, and sustainable growth becomes a shared journey. With gratitude and optimism for continued collaboration, I formally propose the vote of thanks. Thank you all once again, and we look forward to your continued participation in the remaining sessions of ICON 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I just request all the student participants and the faculty members for a photograph with the panelists, please. Student coordinators, all the faculty members, please, on the dais.